Alright everyone, welcome to this video. In this video we're going to cover the best SEO strategies for your contractor business. So whether you're a roofer, electrician, HVAC, plumbing, whatever type of contractor service you have, this is going to apply to you. If you're not a contractor, you're local service businesses, some of these or most of these will apply to you as well, but we're going to be focusing more on contractors in this video. So we're going to cover in this video front-end SEO, back-end SEO, link building SEO, the best tips there. And we're going to go through it with our checklist. So we're going to use this checklist here just to make it easier to understand and easier to understand the priority of things and the impact of it and how much it costs in terms of effort and time to set up. If you are looking through the lens of your own business, some of these you might have already set up, these you might have already done. So in some cases you might say, okay, this one's already good. It's not perfect, it's already good. Well, then this is how much of a priority it's going to be for your business. Now, if you've done it, then that's going to be, you can check it off. That's going to be done. So some cases, we're going to talk about the best ones. Maybe you've already done them. In any case, there's always little things to improve. We're going to be doing more of an overview. So we're going to go fast through all of these. I'm not going to go in depth. We have videos going over them in depth on this channel. So if you want to check that out, there's going to be the SEO videos. So front-end SEO, back-end SEO, and link building. That's going to go into depth into every single thing and basically more of a how-to than this one. First thing I want to do before we start is just show you the whole funnel here. So, search engine results is going to help you for two things. It's going to get you more people to visit your site, more people to visit your website. So, if you optimize yourself more for search engines, well, you higher likelihood of ranking higher on Google. And by ranking higher on Google, you get a higher likelihood of people noticing your website, noticing your business, then landing there and then potentially contacting you and becoming a lead or becoming a client. Now, what people might not think of when they think of search engine optimization is that you have the aspects of trying to rank higher on Google, but you also have the aspects of increasing click-through rate. So what is click-through rate? Well, basically, if I were to search up NYC roofers, like I have pulled up here, and I were to look at all these businesses, well, they put keywords in their title tags. This is the title tag, this is the meta description. They put keywords in here, they put information there to try to rank higher on Google. So they try to communicate to Google, okay, we're this type of business, put us up for these keywords. Now, the thing is that there's two aspects of it. The aspect of trying to rank higher, and then the aspect of trying to get people to click on it. Because it's not enough to just be number one. If you're number one, but what it says here is not what you're searching for, then you have a lower likelihood of the person clicking. And so there's ways to optimize your meta description to write in a way to entice people to click. There's ways to write your title tag to entice people to click. And so we're going to talk about these two features and also the extra features you can set up, like all these, in this case, this person has all this information here, without being sponsored. The sponsor one's going to have extra information, but then in their case, don't even have extra information there, just put it here. And that's going to help your business click-through rate be better. So basically, we're getting more people. So we're bringing people down the funnel to your website, but we're also converting more in the way. So if you have 2,000 people seeing your Google listing and you have a 3% click-through rate, well, can you get it to a 4%? So from those 2,000, you're getting more visitors per every 1,000 visitors you get, you're getting more bang for your buck, basically. So we're going to cover that. And the last thing before I get into the actual video, just want to show you some case studies. So we have the best case study here, which is from one of our contractors we worked with, where we got him 308% boost in visitors, applying these strategies and a little bit more. Then we've got, let's say, ClickShip here. I believe 110% boost in visitors. Empire Barbershop, 101% boost in visitors. And then Paris Hair Salons, 142% boost in visitors. So these are just some examples, some case studies, but you see these strategies have worked, and you can see online, a bunch of these strategies have worked. So without further ado, let's get into the actual video. So let's go through the checklist here. Again, I'm going to go through it fast. It's keyword research. Number one thing for any SEO strategy is keyword research. And what does that mean? Well, it basically means you want to try to find the best keywords. And we're going to define what best means. You want to try to find the best keywords that you have, make a list of them, maybe 100, maybe 1,000 even. And you want to rank order them from best to worst, and then use those the most, the best ones, use them the most in your targeting, or use them in a specific way. And then from there on, you use the rest. And you try to make your content like that. So you make your title tags, your meta descriptions, your content on your website, any type of link building SEO strategies you can do, you're going to be using that list to guide yourself after for the rest. So first thing is going to be, the most important thing is going to be the foundation, is going to be the list. So how do you build this list? You have three values, three pillars of a proper keyword or a strong leading keyword, so a good keyword. What does it mean to be a good keyword or a good search term? Number one is search volume. So how many people are searching for it? So if you have a keyword that no people are searching for, you could be the number one ranked for it, but if nobody's searching for it, it doesn't matter. So search volume is number one. Then you have buyer intent. So how likely is a person, if they're searching for that term, if they're searching something on Google, how likely are they to actually want your service? So if you're a contractor, if you're a roofing company, I'm going to give the example, roofing company is going to be the easiest one. It's going to follow along the whole video. So if you're a roofing company, the person is searching for roofing company in New York. Their likelihood, their intent to buy is very high. The person saying, I want my roof repaired tomorrow in New York, their intent is extremely high. The likelihood that if they get on your website, they're going to contact you skyrockets. Now, if that person says architectural roofing designs in New York for inspiration, that person is not intent to buy. That person is looking for inspirational designs for roofing. Maybe some of them are looking to buy it because maybe they're trying to change the roof, but they're trying to make it aesthetic, so they're trying to find aesthetic roofing companies, and that's how they search. But the likelihood of that being the case is a lot lower. And so right now you have these two factors. So search volume, so how many people are searching for it, and how many of those are actually ending up being your clients, or how many of those are actually looking for your service. So this is like the filter that goes through there. And then you have the third aspect, which is competition difficulty. So how hard is it for your business to rank number one, number two, number three, whatever, to compete, to penetrate into the market? How difficult it is for you. So maybe you have something that has a lot of search volume, a keyword that has a lot of search volume, let's say roofing NYC, and you have 10,000 people searching for it. But for you to capture part of that pie, part of that slice of that pie, you can't, it's, I wouldn't say impossible, there's always ways to do it, but it would be so expensive for you to try to rank for that might not be even worth it for you to put the effort in, the time in, and the SEO strategies in to get a slice of that pie, because a slice of your pie is going to be so small that even if the whole pie is humongous, your slice is too tiny. Now, on the contrary, you might have a keyword that's so specific to a certain type of business in a certain region, you might not have that many people searching for it, maybe 1,000 people. But from those 1,000 people, if you were to compete in it, because the competition is so low, you might get 500 of those to visit your website. And so you see how the one that has 10,000 maybe only get 100 of visitors by competing, and the other one you get 500. So these strategies, we're going to talk about the formula here. So actually, let me show you the example that I built up here. This is fake keywords. I just asked ChatGPT for a bunch of keywords, asked ChatGPT for a bunch of stats. So don't use this as, if you're a roofing company in NYC, don't use this. It's not going to be worth it. Now, let's imagine this. Roof repair New York. Search volume is at 2,400 people a month. Buyer intent is at 0.92, so the person is 92% likely to purchase, whatever we estimate. This is not going to be a factual thing. You know, search volume, you could see it through tools, Uber Suggest, Ahrefs, whatever it may be. You're going to see, okay, this keyword has 2,000 people searching for it, this one has 1,000, whatever it may be. Buyer intent, you're going to have to use with your own gauging. Maybe you have ChatGPT, maybe you have some AI to help you with that. But basically, you want to see, okay, what does a person mean when they're saying that? How likely are they to purchase? You could always test these things out. There's ways to test it. But if you're just trying to start off, then most cases you're not going to want to test, and you're just going to want to try to get down to it the first shot. Then you've got your competition score. So same principle here, scored from 0.01 to 1. The higher the competition score, the more competitive it is, and the harder it is for you to penetrate the market. So this, you could use tools like Ahrefs or Uber Suggest again to guide you. And then the mix of all these, so basically the search volume times the buyer intent. So search volume x buyer intent divided by, so these two together, but divided by competition score, it's going to give you the keyword value. And then from there, you could decide, okay, well, in this hypothetical case, roof repair New York was the best keyword. Licensed roofers was the second best. Roof inspection New York was the third best. So these are going to be the top 3 keywords I'm going to be using in every single type of keyword strategy that I could find. So in the case of your title tags, you want to use them there. In the case of meta descriptions, your URLs, your snippets, your domain names, your content, your programmatic SEO strategies, every single part of your strategy is going to be focused on those keywords mainly. And then the rest is going to come as fillers, basically. I'm saying 3, this might be 10, this might be 20, depending on the type of strategy you have. In any case, this is how you want to order it, and this is how you want to see it. So now let's get into how to actually apply these things. So again, I'm going to go a little bit fast. You have your title tags. Basically this here, this is a title tag. What you want is you want to have the best keywords within it front loaded. So you want it to have it at the front of the title tag. So if your keyword, like we were seeing here, is roof repair New York, you want this to be the first thing that people see. So roof repair New York, and then you put all the extra information. Maybe you put your secondary keyword, maybe you put your brand name if you want. I would recommend against putting your brand name in most cases if you're not well known. That might not help you, but you're going to want to put more keywords there. So you basically go from the best to the worst keyword in your title tag. You want to keep it between 50 and 60 characters long. That just means that when somebody sees it, it's not truncated, so the words aren't cut off, so they could actually read the whole sentence. Just makes it easier for people to read. So those are the two tips there. Then after that, we're going to go fast. So meta description, I would say benefit-driven and readable descriptions. So we can repair your broken roof versus roof repair company. So again, you're trying to use your keywords within it, but you want to make it more expressive so that when somebody's reading, let's say they're reading here, this, in their case, they're saying call NY Roofing at the number for the best price, quality, and warranty on any roofing repair installation project in Brooklyn, NYC. This is filled with keywords. There's a bunch of keywords in here. So best price, quality, warranty, roofing repair, installation project, Brooklyn, NYC. These are keywords probably that they found were good, and they've blasted the meta description with it. But the sentencing is correct. The sentencing is following. So it's not just, this one's, you can't really read this as a sentence. NY Roofing, Roofer Brooklyn, flat roof leak repair. That's not a sentence. But the meta description, you want to explain that. And this is to increase your conversion rates, your click-through rate. So something to keep in mind there. And this for the characters under 155 characters to prevent the fact that these words might not show up. So to prevent truncation. Other tips here, but again, I'm going to be going fast. URLs, you want to basically make them as simple as possible, but have keywords within them. So there's a way so if you see, again, Roof Repair New York, you have a page dedicated to Roof Repair New York, you want it to be in the URL. That's going to slightly help with Google's SEO. There's debate about this, if your domain or URL has an effect on Google SEO. I believe Google states that it doesn't, but most people say that it actually does. In any case, it's going to help in click-through rate. So if somebody sees, they see here would say Roof Repair New York as a / Roof Repair New York. Let me give you the example here. So let's say, so there you go here. So abcroofing.com, let's say if it was just this, it's less enticing. If it was just this, it's less enticing than if it was this, if you're looking for roofing. But what's even more enticing would be Roofing Repair NYC. Takes up a little bit more space, might increase a little bit your conversions, and it might help a little bit with SEO. Even if Google says it doesn't, at this point, just do it. It does help though with Bing SEO. So Bing, I believe it's something like 6% of website traffic goes to Bing. And so this actually might help you rank higher on Bing. And so something to be worth it there. Then URLs, if I go just quickly here, import relevant keywords. So like we were saying, get the best keywords. You can use hyphens to separate the words to make sure that, and make sure all the letters are lowercase. So let's say here we have roofing and restoration. It doesn't read itself good. But if you put, a little dash here, roofing, restoration, reads itself well. And if those are your keywords, then perfect. You could set them up there. So that's pretty much it here. Maybe this one's a high priority one. So prefer subfolder over subdomains. Most cases, you're probably not even going to think of this, but this is going to be more for some technical aspects. Not worth it for most, I would say, not worth it for any contractors to do it this way. So abc.com/roof repair compared to roofrepair.abc.company.com. Snippets, I'm not going to cover snippets. I'm going to skip this. If you want to screenshot this or pause it, you can check this out. And you could go on Google and write how to set up snippets. There's going to be more tutorials on that. We covered this, by the way, in our other videos as well as our other trainings. We have 12 trainings covering how to optimize every single aspect of your service business. And we have 3 trainings on SEO. And so if you want access to that, it's going to be linked in the description below for free. So if you want access to those. And basically, we have more information on that and actually how to set this up. We have, the checklist for every single one of these aspects. This checklist here is not part of those 12 free trainings. This is part of a paid product. If ever you want access to that, it's the optimization bundle. It's going to be linked below in the description. In any case, let's get back to the point here. Now, domain names. Again, this is, like I was saying before, for Bing and Google. In terms of ranking higher, it says that Google states that it doesn't actually help you rank higher to have a domain name with keywords, but in terms of Bing, it does. And so I believe it might help you. And if you could see the example here, like I pulled up, I just wrote NYC Roofers. The number one company here was NY Roofing. So maybe their business name is NY Roofing, or maybe it's not. Maybe it's just the name they did for your website. But NY Roofing is a keyword. And so they're getting their keywords there. They're getting the keywords in the description, in the domain. They're getting the keywords when they're mentioning their brand. And so it stays on their brand, but it's actually their keywords. And so it's helping you in very discreet ways, more side ways, like side attacking ways, but still might help your business rank higher. So even if your business name, let's say, is Galaxy Roofing or whatever it may be, you might want to put, you want to mention roofing in your business name instead of just saying Galaxy Inc. or something like that. You want to put Galaxy Roofing, maybe even NYC, or in this case they said NY. So something to consider there. Then after that, for domains, use keywords in domains, avoid hyphens or numbers in domains. You can buy all the main extensions, so .com, .ca. So if you're in Canada, if you're in the US, and you see that there's other domain extensions people might use, this just might be this kind of a side note, so priority is very low. This just might be a strategy so that if somebody's searching for your business, maybe they dealt with you before, and they see, okay, this business is called ABC Roofing. They type abcroofing.com, okay, they find your website. But somebody else might be typing abcroofing.ca or whatever extension it might be, the abcroofing.gov or ABC, maybe .gov, you kind of access it. But in any case, for Canada, this is going to apply mostly for Canada. But if you have a .ca, you want to have .com because some people are searching through .coms. And so if they go to .com and the page doesn't show up, they might think your business is closed and just leave. And so for $20 a month, it's going to cost you a domain. You could actually have those leads that are probably going to be lost. How many of them are you going to have? Maybe 100 visitors in the next 5 years? Well, now you just got yourself 100 more visitors for $100 in total. So interesting idea there. You could also purchase some domains for regional redirects. So MontrealRoofs.ca, DallasRoofs.com. So if somebody's searching on the search bar, they're searching roofingnyc.com. They might be searching that. So instead of going through Google and trying to find roofingnyc.com, they're actually going to type it. So roofingnyc.com. And so if you can purchase those in your region, because you notice that some of those keywords in your region, I believe you could even check traffic. So you can check out on Google, check out some tools to see if there's any traffic to that domain. And you see, okay, there's 1,000 people a month searching for that are actually typing roofingnyc.com. And so you can purchase that domain and get all that traffic to you. This is also a side note. If ever you see a business closing in your niche, so maybe it's a roofing competitor, you could purchase their domain. So maybe their business is closing completely. You just ask them to purchase the domain, or as soon as their contract is finished, you purchase the domain. And so every single traffic that they had and all the ranking flow juice, SEO juice that they had now goes through your business. So this is kind of a advanced level hack, I guess, and like an opportunistic situation. But if you have the opportunity, I would recommend 100% because you're getting all the traffic from their old domain to yours, and you're getting all that SEO boost as well. So something interesting to take into consideration. In terms of on your website for the SEO, you basically, I'm going to go through this quick, but you want to have your keywords basically, like we're saying, the list. You want to write content that makes sense in terms of the wording, but you want to write basically the best keyword to the last keyword. You want to write every single one you can in all your content. So your title, you have your best keyword. Your description, you have your second. Your secondary title, you have your third. The secondary description, you have your fourth, and so on and so forth. You can even repeat them and mix and match them. How much, like this is the difficult thing with SEO for that type of content. How much is it that you should repeat it? How many times should you repeat your best keyword? Should you repeat it 5 times, 2 times, 1 time? The stats on that are not clear. I haven't seen any information online that states that 5 is better than 2 or 2 is. It's difficult to say. I would say try to put as many as you can while keeping the flow of your text readable, so that it doesn't catch the eye of Google, it doesn't spam you, cause you a spam. But in most cases, you want to basically put as many as you can. That would just be my rule of thumb. Put as many as you can and repeat the top 10. I would say repeat the top 10 as many times as you can in a way that makes sense with your content. And that's going to be for every single page. And every single page is going to be different in terms of content because you're going to be talking about different things. But for every individual page, you should have information that's dedicated to that page. So this I'm going to do as a little side note, but your buyer intent is also going to depend on the page. Because if somebody is searching for roofing services NYC and you have a page dedicated to roofing services NYC, well, maybe you have a subdivision in New Jersey, maybe you have a subdivision in Brooklyn. So if that person says roofing services NYC, but they land on the Brooklyn page, they might think, okay, no, they're not actually doing, or maybe Manhattan, they're going to say, okay, that person is not actually doing the services in Manhattan, they're doing in Brooklyn, so I'm not going to contact them. So you're probably losing sales from that. And so every single page, you want to have the information there to rank for those specific keywords. So you want your page of roofing NYC to rank for roofing NYC. You want your page for roofing Brooklyn to rank for roofing Brooklyn. You don't want to mix and match the keywords within them, because then it might lead people to go to that page and then not actually end up purchasing from you. So you want it to be specific. And so the buyer intent is going to depend on the page. A roof repair New York might be a 0.92 on your homepage, but a roof repair New York on your Brooklyn page might be a 0.85. So the value of it is lower because the conversion rate is going to be lower. You see? So anyways, so you could do that for every single page you have, every single service you have, every single location you have, and the thing that's going to adapt itself to is going to be your buyer intent. The rest is going to stay the same. Search volume and competition scores are going to stay the same, but every single page is going to have a different buyer intent depending on the keywords. So especially if you have different services and you're offering a large variety of things, you might get people confused if they're landing to a certain page or another one. So something to keep in mind there. Probably the highest level strategy of SEO that I know of is going to be that. It's going to be optimizing for every single page and the keywords and the buyer intent and so on. Now, in terms of more easier things to set up, programmatic SEO. So we're going to go with this again fast, but programmatic SEO, you can create a page for every region you serve and every service you offer. So this is one of the things we did for one of the businesses we worked with. We created them a website with 200 pages. So we had a page dedicated to every service they had, every sub-service they had, and a page dedicated to every location they served. And so what that does is that if somebody's searching for roofing sub-city, so it's in NYC, and then we're talking about Brooklyn, all the boroughs, well, that we have a page dedicated to roofing Brooklyn. So a little bit like I was talking before, just has a page dedicated for every single one of them. You could basically duplicate the page, so you could just copy and paste the page in terms of design, and all you have to change is, basically I would say, change every single text you have there, every single link you have there, every single image you have there. Basically change the whole content, but you could keep the same design. And so in terms of design, it doesn't cost you much effort to change. In terms of content, you have basically everything new. That's going to help Google recognize it as a not a duplicate page, not a true duplicate page. Because if you just have a bunch of duplicate pages, Google might connect you with being spammy, or I forget the term that they use, but it's something like, anyways, they don't want you to have a bunch of duplicate pages that don't add extra value to the reader. So that's going to be that there. And then if you're doing different pages, you want your title tags, your meta descriptions, your URLs, your everything to be different on every single page. So I'm talking about front end and back end. Website redesign, we're going to talk about this. Miscellaneous tips, create programmatic pages for all your competitors' keyword pages. So side note, this is again more high level, but you have your top 10 competitors. You could do a page dedicated to every single one of those competitors and call it my business versus this business, my business versus this business. What happens is that if somebody's searching for their business, so let's say they're searching for XYZ roofing, well, you have a page dedicated to XYZ roofing versus ABC roofing. So that person was searching for XYZ, and now they're thinking, oh, you know what, let me go see if this competitor might not actually be better. And you're controlling the page. So you put the information you want. Obviously, you're trying to be fair, you're trying to be truthful, but you're controlling it. And so you could say the best parts of your business, and you could say what are true about your competitors, and just let the person decide and give them all the information you could provide to them. So extra tip there. Optimize content for all devices. So this, if you're doing keyword research, it's good for you to have your mobile. Anyways, all these things connect to each other. So if I go back to the whole funnel here, if I were to show you your website conversion rate, so how likely people are to stay on your website and press buttons on your website, that's actually going to help your SEO. So Google tracks if the person is engaged with your website, if visitors actually stay on your website. The longer they stay on the website, the more likely they are to recommend you higher. And so if your website is designed properly, it's fast, so people can get their information, they're not going to bounce off because they're annoying. So all these things taken into consideration has an actual effect on your SEO, which then has an effect on your website, and so everything's interconnected to everything else. So there's a side note there. Then set up schema markups relevant to your industry. So this is the we're going to be talking about the SEO backend here. In terms of backend, this is going to be more complex, so I'm really going to do it fast here. I would say schema markups, you could check online how to set up schema markups. Robot.txt, most businesses this is not going to apply to. XML sitemap, basically it's basically the map of your website, and you want to share it to Google and Bing. This is something people don't do, they don't share it to Bing. You share it to Google and Bing on Google Search Console and Bing Webmaster Tools. It's basically telling Google, hey, look, this is what my website is, and this is all the pages on my website, and this is how they all interconnect. So when you're finished building your website, doing all the SEO strategies, last thing you want to do, you take the XML sitemap, you go on YouTube, write how to get your XML sitemap. It's a pretty easy tutorial. Get the information, send it to Google, send it to Bing, and that just helps Google understand your business more. It's going to help you rank a lot better. So if you've never done this, this is probably the easiest thing to do to get you to rank higher, because Google didn't have all the information about your website and now it does. And so it could actually rank you for things that you never ranked for potentially. So this is the last step basically in your front end, back end SEO strategy. And it's just sharing the map there. hreflang tags, this is again more advanced, not worth it to discuss in this video. Breadcrumb, again, same thing. 404 pages and 301 redirects. I'm going to talk about this quick. So 404 pages is if somebody searches something on your website, or maybe you had an old page on your website that's broken. And so the page doesn't exist anymore. Maybe you deleted it, but the URL still exists on the internet. People can still type it. And so if your business is abcroofing.com, you had a /about us page, and now you changed it with the strategies we're talking about, where you could, instead of saying about us, you changed the URL to roofing restoration NYC. About our roofing services. You changed it to that. Well, now the about us page was directing to a page before, but now it isn't. So if somebody has it in their notes, they have it somewhere connected, they sent a link to someone, the link is going to be broken, and so it's going to show up a 404 error page. What you can do is you can actually design that page to make it look like your homepage, or you could either do that, or you could redirect them to your homepage. So instead of them landing on a 404 page that says the error, the website's broken, whatever, and leading them to potentially leave your website, now you can actually get them to go to that page, and that's going to redirect them directly to their homepage, to your homepage. And so they never actually lose any momentum, and they just end up, they thought they were going to the About Us page, but now they're in your homepage. What you can do is also redirect it to the new page. So if it was About Us, now you redirect it to About Restoration, which is, in terms of design, it's the same page, but in terms of the URL, it's a different one now. So you want to redirect one to the other. That just keeps the whole thing flowing and just increases conversion rates and so on and so forth. So that's it for there. Now, in terms of link building SEO, keyword research is going to be super important here. Yeah, again, this is going to be the priority score that we're talking about before. Link building, you got your outbound links, your internal links, and your backlinks. Outbound links is you linking to other people. So for most contractors, you might want to do this sporadically, but unless you're doing heavy link building strategies, it's not even going to be worth it for you to do. What you can do is you could go with your buddies, maybe your buddies in the same industry or relative industries, and you can say, hey, like, I'll link to your website, you link to my website. And so you maybe have a page dedicated to our partners or something like that. And maybe these are people that you're trying to get referrals for. And so maybe it's a landscaping company, maybe the other guy's a window cleaning company, whatever it may be. And you guys link to each other. And what that does is that you guys are flowing the link juice between each other, and you're making basically all your websites rank higher on Google, because they're recognized as part of a deeper web. And so they're making it, they're basically it's telling Google, okay, these people are linking to each other, so they must be a little bit higher in value. So that helps you with rankings. How much does it help? Again, it's going to depend on so many factors that it's tough to tell. But if it makes it easier for you, you just go make a page dedicated for them, a blog article, whatever it may be, and you just link to them, they link to you, and that just gets you some juice and you get some juice to them. This is a strategy that we use actually with our clients. So this is something, let's say if we're working with our clients and we're doing the website design, we designed the website for optimization in terms of conversions and SEO. At the bottom, we'll have a link to our website. And then on our website, if we're having case studies about them or we're sharing, we're linking to their website. And so we're doing a loop between each other. And so the traffic that they get from their website. But number one, we might get some clients because people might go down and say, okay, who actually built this website? I'm curious. I want to do one for myself. I might link and go to our website. Then same thing on our case studies, we have linking to them. So you see, we're kind of exchanging the flow, the juice, link juice flow. Internal links, this is basically you want every single page. I would say the major aspect of it, make sure that every single page on your website links to every single other page. So whether that's through your header, to your footer, but also within your content. And so if you can manage it, try to find ways to have buttons or text that are URL'd for, if you're on your About Us page and you talk about your services, you want to basically mention all your services and then have links to all those pages. Maybe they're on your image, or maybe they're under an icon or on the button or whatever it may be, but you want to link to every single one of them. And that just connects the whole website together, and that just makes Google recognize it as a more solid asset online, basically, and also gives people the opportunity to interact with your website in many different ways and potentially actually get more information out of you. That's it for internal linking. In terms of backlinks, this strategy is getting other people's websites linking to you. This is a strategy where basically you could put, if you were to spend money on it, because there's ways to invest in this. You put $20,000 in, you might get, $100,000 worth of traffic to your website. So this is going to depend on what strategies you're in, what type of your budget you have, what type of implementations you might consider. The one thing I would say is that whatever link building strategies you're doing, first thing you want to do is set up some foundation links. So this is the list of all the foundation links that we recommend. And basically these are all links that are going to be, and also in the training we explain more in depth what that actually means. And I think we have a link to the list of links. In any case, all these links are going to set as a foundation so that Google recognizes you as someone who's already getting a bunch of links to your website from reputable sources. And so if ever one of these websites, any of these backlinks are bad, the whole look of your website is going to be more covered in ways, because it's going to have all this foundation set. And so it's going to look less bad than if you didn't have this foundation set and now you've just got a few backlinks that are sketchy or whatever maybe. So just sets you up to be less likely to be reported to Google or from Google. Then you got some continuous links. Again, I'm not going to cover them, but you have all these types of links you could get. So basically other people linking to you. You could get some blogs, you could get some news posts. If we're looking at NYC roofers, on Yelp, you could potentially get yourself ranked higher on Yelp. And then those people are going to see your business. And so, in this example, NYC roofers, this is the second thing that pops up. And so a lot of people are probably going to press on this. A lot of visitors are going to go to the site. Now, if you could rank number 1 on Yelp, well, basically it's as if you were ranking number 2 on your Google search engines. And so you could actually get some traffic there. Even if your website directly isn't there, you're actually ranking higher because Yelp has considered you as the best roofing company. And this is the thing with these profiles, is that they don't have a metric. They don't study these businesses. They don't say, okay, well, this business is better because XYZ. You basically pay more, you get ranked higher. And so that's how they decide. And so if ever you're searching for stuff, I would recommend against using Yelp's top 10. Unless you're just curious and seeing who's on the market, I would say the best thing you could use is who's first on the search engine rankings. Then after that, some general practices, info backlinks from high authority sites, meaning if you could use testers for that. You hire authority tester online, you can check that out for free. And basically it's sites that have higher authority, that are less spammy, they're less sketchy, don't have anything illegal from them, anything like that. And so that there's less likelihood that if they're looking to you, that brings you basically bad SEO. It's a bad way to say it, but bad karma, you could say, to your website. Prioritize do follow links, but include some no follow links for diversity. It's going to be more described in the training if you want to check that out, what that means. Then use a variation of anchor text, so branded anchors, generic anchors, partial match, and so on. Basically, you don't want, I was saying before, you want to use your keyword rankings. You want to see what your best keywords are. It's going to load up. So roof repair in New York, you want to use that the most possible. But if you use it too much in your backlink strategies, that might signal to Google that you're trying to manipulate the system, and they might penalize you for that. So basically you want to use, branded anchor is going to be your brand name. So maybe ABC Roofing or whatever it may be. And then after that, 1% of the time you want to use the top keywords you have. And that's the strategy you're going to play around with. So that's pretty much it for this video. These are going to be the top tips. I made this video longer than I thought it was going to be. I wanted to just show you guys the best ones. But this is going to be more extensive, but it's really going to be it's seriously going to be good. If you're implementing all these strategies within your business, there's a very, very strong likelihood you're going to rank higher. You know, if I'm talking about the results we had for our clients, some of these results, and I would say majority of the results, happened in the first month of implementing these things. You know, a lot of people say SEO takes a lot of time. Yes, link building SEO takes time, and maybe to rank properly takes time. But if your website's been live, you know, 2 years, 3 years, whatever, maybe even plus, and you haven't applied all these things, as soon as you do them, you're gonna get you're gonna get a spike because you've optimized all these things you've never done. Now, if it's a completely new website, then yes, it might be taking you a longer time to rank. But in any case, you know, if you were starting out and you didn't do these things, your trend was probably going to be like this, and now your trend is going to probably be like this. And so, tough to gauge how much of an improvement it has. Nobody has exact statistics, but if I were to assume, you know, if you were to do every single one of these things to perfection, how likely are you to succeed in SEO? I would say you're very, very likely. And a lot of people don't even think of all these things. A lot of businesses, especially in local markets, if you're a contractor and you're not in a big cities are going to be more competitive. But if you're not in a huge city, or maybe you're doing it in the boroughs or in the side cities, you might have one competitor who's doing that strongly, 2 competitors max. And so you could really compete with them. You know, these strategies can even apply to, you know, blogs and these big businesses that are competing with the best of the best in the business. You know, but in any case, if you're in the local market, it's going to be a lot easier for you to set all these things up. So that's pretty much it for the video. If you guys have any questions, anything you want to let me know in the comments, please type them there. I'm going to try to answer to every single comment. Any questions, any concerns, anything you want me to clarify on, please let me know. Also, if you have anything you think could be added to this, or anything I didn't cover that you think could be useful, please let me know as well. I'd like to always improve this and make it better and better through time. And once again, if you want to download our training, so basically, if I could just show you a preview here, we have front-end SEO, back-end SEO, link building, as well as 9 others covering different aspects of your service business, basically covering every single aspect of this whole funnel. That's just going to teach you exactly how to optimize every single aspect of your business to get you more leads, more conversions. You know, if I go to our projections calculator here, to get you more visitors, get you more conversions, get you a higher close rate, average order value, refund rate, and so on and so forth. So all the information taken to hand could really help your business and grow to new scales. So that's pretty much it for this video. Again, one last thing also, if you want to access this bundle, this whole Miro board with all the checklist and the advanced checklist, that's going to be a paid product. That's going to be linked in the description below. If you want the free trainings, you could access those instead. And if you want to work with us, Vizions Digital, we're an agency that works specifically with local service businesses, but we tend to have better results with contractors. So if you're a contractor and you're trying to grow, whether you're at $1 million a year, $4 million a year, whatever it may be, we're interested in speaking to you, seeing if we can help you. We have different offers for different size businesses. So if you're a smaller business, maybe under $1 million a year, we have certain offers for you that may be worth it for you. And if you're over that, maybe over $5 million a year, we have certain optimizations to set this up for you as well. So that's pretty much it for the video. Thank you guys for watching. I'll catch you on the next one. Bye-bye.